Hello everyone, Jasvinder here. Today I have come up with one more essay of your IELTS test. So today's essay is the number of students studying science at university is constantly declining. What does it say? The number of students who opt science stream in the universities is declining, is decreasing. What do you think are the causes and what effects will this have on our society? They are asking what are the reasons and what can be the effects of this happening. So today we are discussing a topic in which we have to describe the reasons why something is happening and what can be the consequences of that particular phenomena. Let's talk about causes first. Okay, so we have to, when it comes to explore the reasons why students are not opting science, why they are showing less interest towards the science stream. We have got the first reason, unlike other subjects, science is considered quite complicated and it requires a great deal of hard work, intelligence, and commitment to outdo others or to perform outstandingly. Once again, I will repeat the first point, that is, unlike other subjects, दूसरे subjects के comparison में science is considered quite complicated. It is, in other words, quite difficult, and it also requires a great deal of hard work, intelligence, and commitment to perform well in order to get excellent marks or positions. This might be the reason, or this can be considered a reason behind less interest towards science stream. We have to put example to justify our thought. In case of example, science subjects such as chemistry, physics comprise highly complex lessons, empirical researches. Such lessons and researches are sometimes hard for the students to understand. They even have to burn midnight oil to get the proper understandings of their science lessons. Okay, so as I have mentioned, like science subjects such as chemistry, physics comprise highly complex lessons, theories, and empirical researches. Empirical researches means practical researches that are conducted in the labs. In response, students who study such subjects have to burn midnight oil in order to have better understandings of their science studies and get outstanding marks. This really sometime, or I would say more often, this really makes them mentally tired and frustrated. Thus, the complexity of science is really becoming a challenge for the students, and the interest towards opting science stream in the universities is diminishing at an alarming rate. When it comes to point number 2, the number of job seekers is exceeding to availability of jobs in respective field or in the field of science. The number of job seekers, or in other words number of job searchers, is exceeding to availability of jobs in science field. So I have not mentioned example here. I have just kept the space, and you need to put the example and conclude the point. I would give you some guideline by speaking, by telling some thoughts to you. So as a part of example, we can take the real example of our country, India. For instance, in my country, India, every third student is mentally prepared to choose science in order to become doctor, scientist, or engineer. This is just because of traditional approach of their parents to encourage their uh, children for having white collar job, which are also well paid. So they are motivating their children to opt science as a stream. So this is a tendency in our country. So because of this tendency, the number of job seekers in the field of science and information technology is rising rapidly, even more than the number of job availabilities. So I have given you some concepts. On the behalf of these concepts, you can make example so that you can prove this particular thought. And conclusively, we can say that the number of job seekers is considerably higher than the number of job vacancies in the field of science, and because of growing unemployment in the science field might be the reason why students are avoiding choosing science stream. When it comes to effects, okay, before turning to effects, one more point can be in some countries, we can talk about in some developing or less developed countries, the number of science institutions, colleges, or universities is far lesser than the other countries. Therefore, most of students who belong to rural areas may not have access to uh, those universities that are quite less in number and even situated in the big cities. This can also be considered the reason why the interest towards science stream is plunging in many parts of the world. Let's come to the effects now. The first major effect would be a massive loss to science institution is quite common consequence because of quite common consequence of this happening, or in other words we can say science colleges, universities, and institutions uh, have to experience a massive loss because of this situation, or we can say science colleges, universities, and institutions are expected to bear a massive loss because of this happening. This is our thought, main idea. We have to exemplify to uh, to prove it how it's gonna be. Okay, when we put examples, so science colleges, universities, and institutions have been constructed by making a huge investment. Okay, besides this annual expense, including salaries of staff members, resource management, and conduction of researches uh, is far higher. I would say, I would repeat that, in The annual expense, including salaries of staff, resource management, conduction of researches, is far higher than the other institutions. Hence, in terms of finance, so as we have mentioned here, firstly they are made with a huge investment, and the annual expense is also very high of science and departments and institutions. Hence, in terms of finance, uh, it could be backbreaking for science institutions to yeah, it could be backbreaking for science organizations, institutions, or all the academies. When it comes to point number two, so a country may deprive of prodigious professionals in the field of science and information technology if the practice to avoid science continues in the nation. So this can also be a major drawback to a country. Once again, I will repeat, a country may miss the opportunity to have or to find out prodigious professionals in the field of science and information technology if the practice to avoid science stream continues to grow. Okay, so there are two causes and two effects of this happening. I expect you to write and send me so that I can check out and give you feedback. Once again, I would request you to like, subscribe, and share our YouTube channel. Thank you, everyone. Enjoy learning, stay at your home, and uh, keep sharpening your skills of IELTS. Good luck, all the best for your preparation.